The next thing I want to do is look at connector linkages. So we're going to look at DDE linkages in Word, creating and modifying them, and then UDF linkages in Excel and creating and modifying them. And so I'm going to move back to the document manager in Working Papers. And in the document manager, I want to open up document 1.2b. I have a Word financial statement example document that we're going to be working with. Now on the first page, I have the title here. I'm just going to highlight that and open up the connector linkage dialog. Now to do this, we go to the connector tool, and again it may be under add-ins, and we have the linkage icon that allows me to open up the linkage dialog. And here we see it down at the bottom. Now in the connector toolbar under add-ins, I've got the linkage open. So in the linkage dialog, I want the engagement property. So I want to pull the name in from the client file. And the name is actually connector training as opposed to just the word connector. So when I click on that, it shows me the value and the connector training. And when I hit the check mark, that will put it right in where I had my cursor. Now it also took out paragraph, so I'm going to insert the paragraph there, but this is now a linkage from the working paper file into the Word document. The connector linkage populates the Word document only after the accept button is selected. Now I could have clicked the cancel button right there, and that would have cleared the calculation from the dialog. Clicking on the linkage in the Word document causes the linkage to display with a gray background, as you can see on my screen right now, indicating that the connector linkage exists. The linkage dialog can remain open while you modify your document or move your cursor to a different position to create additional links. So in the Word document, I want to highlight the year-end date, December 31st, 2012. This time I won't include the paragraph, which is hidden there. And if necessary, I can resize or drag the connector linkage dialog to a different location for better access to the Word document. So I can just grab the corner and move that around, resizing it to get it into position so that it makes it easier for me to see exactly what I need to see. So I've highlighted the year, and I'm going to scroll down through my linkage until I can find the year-end date, which is coming from my engagement properties. So there's my year-end date. This is, by the way, CLP code 13. If you're familiar with the case view calculation, the year-end date is the description, and my value right there. Now before I go ahead and click the checkbox to bring that in, I want to make sure that I have the correct format. And so I use my current format option to choose the format that I want to appear in my document. Now that's not the date that will appear, this is the date, but that's the format. And once I've got that all set, once again I can click the accept button and it will replace the date that was there with a link to the working papers file. So in the Word document, I now want to scroll down to the balance sheet. So there's a balance sheet laid out in a table in the Word document. Right now it is not linked, and if I click on cash, for example, you can see that it doesn't highlight in gray in the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to highlight the cash line here. And in the linkage, I'm going to select the mappings category because we have all these different categories available to us to link from. Now it just so happens there's the cash description right here. So I'll click on the word cash and it gives me my map description calculation. Now if you prefer the extended description, we can click on that and it gives us the argument with a comma 2 in there. And when I hit the check mark, actually pardon me, I'm going to right click on the description here for us and we have the option to link formula or link data. So I'm going to be linking the formula today, and this automatically populates the Word document with the connector linkage without having to click accept on the button, on the accept button. So if I click on it again, oh, it already has brought it in for me right there. It's kind of busy, so I missed that coming in, but hopefully you saw it as that happened. Now also in the Word document, I'm going to highlight the current year balance for cash, including the $sign. Now in the linkage dialog, I can change the format and sign pull downs by selecting my format that I want. Let's see, here I want $signs with the numbers, so I'll include that. And I want my current year, the correct period is available, and I'm going to say yes to use the sign. So that's asking me if I want to adhere to the debit and credit signs that are in the working trial balance associated with the values that are coming through. Now at this point, I do want the value, so I'm going to click on the 34-1 that is shown here. Actually, that's his current year, and that is prior year. That's fine, 34-1. And if I check the accept button, the value is pulled into the document for me. There's my 34-1. Now, let's go back to the Word, in the Word document as we are looking here, and I'm going to highlight the current year balance for accounts receivable, and that is the $25,000 right here. Now, with that highlighted, in the linkage bar at the bottom of the dialog, I'm going to click to the right of the connector formula so that it is no longer highlighted. Now, I do want to, first of all, make sure that I get the map number 115 in here. Down a little ways, there's 115. So I can click on that, and then I'm going to click to the right of that calculation so that I can add to it. So I also want to offset this with the amount for allowance for doubtful accounts. Now, fortunately for me, that's 0, but I'm still going to click on the value, and notice how it adds it in there for me. So in the event that there is an allowance, it will pull that information in and actually add it together. So the functions are always added unless you manually type a mathematical operator, so we can put a plus, a minus, a multiplication, or a divisor in where the plus sign automatically appeared for us. I'm going to click the accept button. That's going to pull the value through for me of 11,000, and there's the value. Now, what I just realized was that I forgot to change the value, because in this point I don't want the $sign, so I'm going to just check that and click the value here and recheck that. Now that should, I'll put it in because I didn't have it highlighted, so I'll delete the extra one just like that, and I get the value that I'm actually looking for. So if you make a mistake, not that difficult to make a correction to get exactly what it is you're working for. Now, continuing with the Word document, we'll look at the prior year balance for cash here, and we can do the same type of thing. Now for the prior year balance for cash, I'm going to change it back to show the $sign, and I want to just switch this to say prior year instead of current year. And scrolling up to the top where the cash value is, I'll get rid of what's here and click on the cash value of 10,100. Now, clicking on the check mark is going to accept that change for me and bring in the 10,100, just as I mentioned previously. So the connector linkages have been created in the Word document. Now, all of these linkages are DDE linkages, Dynamic Digital Exchange. And if I want to modify a DDE linkage in Word, using the Edit DDE Linkage feature, what we would do is we would highlight the item that we want to modify. So I'm highlighting the 2012 year in the header. And in the linkage dialog, I'm going to go back to my engagement properties and select the CLP13 code once again, which is my year-end date. And click the accept button. Now, the date formula pull-down includes a format that includes the month, day, and year, and I really only want to include the year. So in the Word document, I'm going to right-click on this item and on the added linkage and select connector down at the bottom and edit DDE link. Now this opens up so I can change the calculation, and we see the old formula and the new formula in its current format. Now I might want to click the drop down to choose a different format that will allow me to change it, or I might just want to type directly in the formula field, and in this case I'm going to type directly in the formula field, change the short date value to extract the year instead. A quick recalculate will give me the value that I'm looking for, and clicking OK will refresh that value in my document. So the connector linkage in Word has been modified. Now we can also modify DDE linkages in Word using Word features. In the Word document, what I'm going to do is highlight the prior year, and in the linkage dialog, I'm going to click on the CLP code 291. So now I have to scroll down a little bit to find 291, prior year right there, and click the accept button. And once again, I'm getting the full date coming in. So in the Word document, if I want to edit this, I have to toggle my field codes. And again, on a right click, I can do that, toggle field codes, and that's the field code that needs to be edited. Now, there's a lot of information here, so if you understand this, great. If not, what I'm going to do is get rid of the components that I don't need, the month and the day components, and shorten that down to just the 4-digit years. When I'm finished with that change, I can right-click and toggle my field code once again, and that did not refresh. Oh, I did miss something there, so I'll do that one more time. Toggle field codes, and I can change this to year as well. And then right-click and update field. There we go, just down to the 2011 that I was looking for. So the connector linkage in Word has been modified. Now, to modify several connector linkages, you can use Word's Find and Replace feature. However, you must first toggle the field codes for all linkage calculations, and this can be done in Word by pressing the Alt character plus the F9 key on your keyboard. And after making all the necessary changes, you can press Alt plus F9 again to display the balances, and then select the Connector Tools Recalculate feature to recalculate the value that you're looking for.